Welcome back to Superior, Wisconsin here at Bowfest 2019. My name is Greg White, and Joe Maxfield sitting next to me, a Matthews shooter. Now, Joel, this has been a spectacular event here. I mean, Bowfest is home to 4 3D archery courses featuring 60 3D targets set on rugged terrain, featuring several water hazards and elevation. You got to shoot those courses. How were they?
I did. Those courses were phenomenal. Some of the funnest 3D that I've ever got to shoot, because the trails and the hills and the technical part of the shots were just fantastic.
Well, I'll tell you what, you see 3 shooters right there that are on the line because we are in the open class and we have to determine who's going to be 4th and 5th. Let's go to PJ Riley for the information.
All right, archers, we're trying to break a tie here to get 4th, 5th, and 6th place. Our first shot is going to be at the bison. When everybody signals that you're ready, I'll say, archers, you can shoot now, and then you're all going to shoot simultaneously. You know the rules. 1 let down, however long it takes you. So just give me the sign when everybody's ready. All right, archers, the field's yours.
All right, so these 3 archers came in tied, and we're back on our regular course, and there's a bison that's set, I can't remember, was that 85 yards downrange, target number 20. This is Caleb Sorrells, who's in the middle, David Hauser closest to you, and Jake Gleitz. And they're shooting 3 arrows, and it's going to go off of score first, and then we're going to determine who is going to be 6th, 5th, and 4th. Now, here's what we do know as you take a look at that target. You can see in David Hauser's quiver that he has yellow veins. Caleb Sorrells has orange veins, and Gleitz has white. Well, what's going to happen is Mark is taking a close look at those arrows right now to determine if there is an archer who is the lowest value arrow. He's going to pull that arrow and he's going to hold it up, and we're going to tell you, as you can see, that arrow is a 10. So no question about that one. That's going to be David Hauser. That was a good shot. So he definitely advances on this one. So now it's down to the next 2 arrows, and they're going to pull those. So, all right, so now what we have is a tie for 5th place at the moment. So we know that David Hauser is in it, and David Hauser will be 4th in this one. So it's going to go between these 2 archers here, Caleb Sorrells on your left and Jake Gleitz on the right. So Hauser's in. He'll be shooting against a couple of top guys, Dan McCarthy, Chance Bobev, and Levi Morgan in that order. And now it's going to go to David Hauser in 4th. So we're going to move on to our second target. Second target is fallow deer. That is interesting for me because when they looked at this deer, that's going to be target 18 that you can see in the upper right-hand part of your screen. I didn't know that that target, if you look at the top of it, it actually has an apple on its mouth. And when I first got here and I was standing way back, I go, why do they have Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer down there? I didn't realize that was an apple. But that one's also a really decent poke. Let's get back to PJ.
All right, archers, Caleb, Jake, we're now shooting at target number 18. Same rules apply. When you guys say you're ready, the field is yours. Everybody's ready? Okay, archers, your shot.
All right, so the situation is, again, this is going to go on score. If these 2 archers tie, we're going to go to the turkey, and it's going to be closest to the center. So they've got to take their time and execute. Looks very still at the moment. Jake releases first, and then Caleb lets it fly. Ooh, and it looks like it's going to be the same score. So it's going to be an 8 for these 2 archers. So now what's going to happen is that we're going to go to the turkey, which is in the middle of the hill, and the Joel, the turkey has got a very small 12 dot, doesn't it?
It's tiny. Yeah, it's tiny.
And the rings seem very small on the turkey, so it's going to go to a closest to the center. PJ, take it away. What are you seeing?
All right, archers, that was a tie on that one for score. So this one, we're shooting at the turkey in the middle of the field. This one is closest to center, so we will have a winner after this. Just let me know when you're ready. Caleb, you're ready? Jake, you're ready? Archers, the field's yours.
All right, so This is to determine who's actually going to get into this shoot-off and compete for $10,000. Closest to the center, the archer advances. Jake with the release. And Caleb. So now it's going to determine who is closest to the center. Jake drilled it. Jake Gleets nailed that one. So it's going to be Caleb Sorrells who is going to have to bow out of this one. So he'll be credited with 6th place in this one. A good effort for the young man who lives in Virginia. Sorrells also works for Shrewd and working the event this weekend, but really outstanding shooting for him. So he'll walk away with $200, his entry fee back, in 6th place. And that means that Jake Gleets advances to a clean sheet of paper. Everyone resets to 0. So the situation is very simple on this one. As you've seen before, we're going to give it to PJ as he talks to the archers and finds out who's going to do what on what target. PJ.
All right, archers, we're in for the open class finals. Congratulations on making it here. Dan McCarthy, you are our leader. You get first choice of targets. Which would you like to shoot?
I'm going to start on 3.
Dan's going to start on number 3. Chance, you are second place. Which target?
Number 1.
Number 1 for Chance. Levi, you're our 3rd place finisher. Where would you like to start?
I think I'm going to start 4.
All right. And David Hauser, 4th place. Which would you like?
I'll start on number 2.
Number 2. So Jake?
Guess I'm staying put.
Yeah.
Target 5?
Yes, sir. All right, it's the same rules, guys. Chance will shoot first. Once his arrow hits, everyone moves on down the line. Chance, just give me the sign whenever you're ready. All right, archers, the field's yours.
All right, so interesting choice. You know what, to be honest with you, Joel, this is what Chance Bobef really wanted. He wanted to start on 1 and get to 5 because he wanted to be able to determine his own fate if he needed the 14 bonus on the duck. Ooh, Chance lets that one fly. And again, that is the 100-yard caribou. What'd you see?
It's a little low. You ended it up a little low.
David Hauser just coming off of his. Ooh, David let that one fly.
Nice shot.
It's a good shot. See the look on his face when he let it go. I was like, it looks pretty good there, buddy. All right, this is going to be Dan McCarthy. And Joel, Dan McCarthy has quite a story about coming here, doesn't he?
Yeah, he got here yesterday, and I don't know that he. Oh, nice shot! Nice shot.
50 yards downrange. That's just a poke for Dan McCarthy. Here's Levi Morgan. By the way, Dan McCarthy, Levi Morgan going at it in Shooter of the Year and ASA competition next week. Levi drifts it right. It's been something he's been telling me since he got here. He just hasn't had that setup. Levi also with his OPA bow and his max distance a couple yards short on the 100-yarder. Gleets with a good shot there. Just outside of the 12 ring, I believe, on the Gazelle for Jake Gleets. Scoring time as our group's going to come walking down the hill. First to be scored on the 100-yard caribou, Chance Bobef. A 5. Yeah, we saw that one drift low. So, you know what? I mean, I'm already telling you right now that Chance is probably thinking about the 14 on the duck on target 5.
He may have to make up some ground for sure.
Mm-hmm. All right, next is going to be David Hauser. Hauser on target number 2 on the standing elk. 10 for the first target. And once again, we're going to shoot 5 targets in regulation, Joel, and the highest score wins. If we have ties, we're going to go to 12 rings. If it's not for first place, if there's a tie for first place, we're going to go to a single arrow shoot off closest to the center on the links. That is our bonus target. All right, number 4 is Levi Morgan. Morgan with an 8. And that right drift for Levi. I'm telling you, when they shot their second round of qualification, Dan McCarthy came here and shot both his qualifications in the same day. And Levi came out with Chance and David Hauser, and it was pretty windy, but they put on quite a show to get to within, you know, only a couple of points of Dan McCarthy in this one. So target number 3, this is Dan, who came in here with an unbelievable 450 points. So McCarthy in 12th, and Joel, you were talking about it. So Dan McCarthy yesterday wakes up 6 o'clock in the morning, does some work, 8 o'clock says, you know what, I'm driving 6 hours, I'm coming to Bowfest. There is a great tournament going on here, $10,000 on the line, and he came in here, got out of his car, and sat here and just range fine and checked his bow, got a good night's sleep, and shot both of them. Unbelievable. Gleets in with the 10. Yeah, you know, listen, you've known Dan McCarthy a long time. Fair to say that when Dan McCarthy shows up to a tournament, he's single-minded, focused on being a professional archer?
Absolutely. He's always a threat to win the tournament for sure.
All right, so Gleets is going to move to target number 1. Bobef is going to be on target number 2. Hauser on target number 3. Dan McCarthy moves to 4. And Levi Morgan on 5. Now,
You're up. Chance, you're shooting second.
I didn't see Levi grab that 14 card. Good shot by Jake Gleets. Might just be under the 10 ring or cutting that line. Here's Chance Bobef. Heard about this tournament a couple weeks ago. That one, I don't know, Joel.
It's too close to call from here for sure.
That's either a 10 or an 8. Here's David Hauser. Hauser with a good 10. Hauser today struggled a bit and found himself in that 3-way tie for 4th place. He definitely rebounded to get into this one. Interesting though, you see the shadows on Dan's face from Levi Morgan. I don't think that bothered him. Maybe it's hard to say. That one he chucked really high. Uncharacteristic shot from Dan McCarthy. That one is the Velociraptor 79 yards away. Here's Levi Morgan working on the Gazelle. Another shot, Joel, I think.
Maybe a little bit right.
Yeah, another one drifting right. A solid 10 for Levi. But from our vantage point looking at Levi, he just grabbed a couple clicks on his sight. Now when I say grabbed a couple clicks on his sight, what does that mean?
Well, he's actually adjusting his sight over to the right to try to compensate for some of the right issues that he's having.
It's a little change in order from our bow hunter. We're going to go back to the top of the hill. Is our scoring crew. Out they go on this one, and a look at the Caribou. Jake Gleets. Having a good long look at that one, and again, it's not about pulling lines, it's about cutting them. Gleets with another 10, 2 in a row for him. Now to Chance Bobef on the Standing Elk. You talked about this earlier, Joel. Very tricky course here. It's not even straight up a hill, is it? Chance.
No, it's
yeah.
You know, you got the side hill, and that's bubble issues. I mean, your bubble's got to be perfect, and your third axis has to be set correctly.
There are practice bales that are up a hill as well, so archers having an opportunity. They set bales. They did a great job for the practice range. But I know a lot of these ASA 3D type archers were as an 8 in for Dan McCarthy, shaking his head. But very interesting. You've shot some 3D in your career, right?
Oh yeah.
And so how comfortable is it to actually have to shoot uphill the entire tournament?
Yeah, I shoot a hinge, and so it's very difficult to get it to go off consistently uphill. Yeah, the angles and the technical aspect of this range is pretty substantial.
Maybe David Hauser, 10 for him. Now we're going to move down the hill to Levi Morgan. Told you moments ago, it's his second shot that he's had to the right, uncharacteristic of Levi. He grabbed a couple clicks, so I expect to see that as Levi just kind of turns. And so a 10 for Levi. But see, that's the opportunity missed, isn't it, Joel? When you're looking at the shortest target, or the target that's, you know, it's only 39.5 yards away, those are the opportunities you have to jump on to get those 12s.
In this field, you got to have those.
If you're just joining us here, at Mont in Superior, Wisconsin, as we're shooting for $10,000 prize here in the open class. We have scoring
All
rings.
right, Levi, you're up.
The middle, painted orange, is a 12. Then we have 10, 8, and 5. So Levi Morgan on target number 1. This is where Levi said his tape went to 98 yards, so he's got to aim off a bit, and I think he's happy with that shot. That looks like a 10 for Levi on that 100-yard caribou. Next up is going to be Jake Gleitz. You can see we have a tie at 20-20-20 between Gleitz, Hauser, and McCarthy. So every arrow becoming extremely important on this one. A 10 on the 90-yard standing elk to Chance Bobeff, who's got some points to make up on this one if he wants to be in contention for the big money. Oh, that's not going to do it.
A little bit right.
A little bit right. Now Hauser, who has found himself in a shoot-off for 4th, now heading into this arrow tied for the lead. Oh, that's a big move by Hauser on a Velociraptor 79 yards away. Now Dan McCarthy. No one has gone for that 14 yet. So Dan goes for the Gazelle. Dan drops that one out of the 12 ring. Wait a second, Joel. Do we have David Hauser, who was just in a shoot-off, to even get into this thing for 4th place? Leading this after scoring?
Yep.
Just to give you an idea of what they're here for, once again, Bowfest here at Mont in Superior, Wisconsin. An absolute beautiful place. I mean, you sign up, you get your wristband, and you have all these courses that you can shoot. Helicopter rides. You have, there's a night shoot, and of course this money shoot. And $10,000 for first, $4,000 for second, $2,000 for third, and then 4th place for $1,000, 5th for $500. So that for Levi. Now we're moving on to Jake Gleitz. 10 for him. Now this is the Velociraptor. This is a big one. For David Hauser. This is target number 4, and you can see him picking up that 12. So great shot for Hauser. So to target number 3 is going to be Chance Bobeff. Great conditions for Chance, I think. Not as comfortable in the wind. Definitely not as comfortable shooting uphill. But enjoyed the atmosphere here, and he gets an 8. Chance was another one who kind of heard about this. This is Levi's 2nd appearance at this tournament, and he heard about this from his friend Levi Morgan, as did David Hauser. So they made plans to come here. This event happened in 2020, by the way. Same time last full weekend in July, as Dan McCarthy with a 10. That's going to mix this order up all of a sudden now. Pressure goes on David Hauser. So far, Joel, of these top shooters that we have, there's only been 2 12 shot. Hauser shot 1, and on the first one, Danny McCarthy.
That's
you a little surprised by that?
It's a little surprising, but the lighting in the side hill it's tricky.
Hot, Dan, you're up.
So Dan McCarthy on target number 1. The longest shot we have of the weekend, 100 yards. Maybe a little. Whoa. I think Dan just drilled that one. I mean, it's on the left side, but it looks like that might be a 12. Doing it on the hard ones, isn't he? Here's Levi Morgan. That one dropped low. And that looks like going to be a 5, Joel.
Yeah, it's pretty low.
So Levi at the moment letting it slip away from him. Gleitz Jake Gleitz coming in here in 5th place on the Hogzilla. Looks like he just drilled it in the middle for 12 in the orange dot. Here's Chance Bobef trying to make some moves. Good shot by Chance. And again, it's not a pull the line, it's a cut the line. That one's going to be really close. We'll wait to see what the judge does. Here's our current leader, David Hauser, on target number 5. Hauser lets it rip. Ooh. Just outside. And Hauser with a grimace on that one, as that's an opportunity lost after it could be a 12 for Dan McCarthy. You don't want to open the door for McCarthy on that one. So now the trip up the hill for our scoring team as this crowd continues to look on here at Bowfest 2019. By the way, just to give you an idea, if you want to check it out in 2020, July 24th, 25th, 26th time frame. Ted Nugent going to be the musical act here on the 24th and Charlie Daniels on the 25th. You got to check out bowfest.com for more information. Put this one on your calendar early because it is absolutely spectacular. All right. So for Dan McCarthy, solid, unbelievable. His second 12 of this one. Arrow number 4 in the books with 1 to go in regulation. This could be all tied up at the top after this scoring round between McCarthy and Hauser.
It's getting tight.
All right, for Levi Morgan. 5 for Levi. We'll move down the hill to target number 4. And again, if you look at the line of sight, you can tell that target number 3 is in a direct line. This is actually to the right of it, but it is further up the hill, the Velociraptor. 79 yards, 2 inches on that 12. And that's going to be Chance. And it's a 10 for Chance. Bobef. So Chance so far with a 5, a 10, an 8, and a 10. Now to Jake Gleitz. That's the interesting about this tournament. It was all squared up, and Gleitz with a 12. He's absolutely ripping up. 3 10s and a 12 so far for Jake. Down the hill to Hauser, who was trying to hold on to this lead. Had that 39.5 Gazelle. Going for that, gunning for that 12. But it's going to be a 10 for him. So far, listen, I'm no math genius here, but it's looking pretty good between Hauser, Gleitz, and McCarthy. All tied up at the top, 42 points apiece. Now for Gleitz and Hauser, they got there the same way, a 12 and 3 10s. For McCarthy, 2 12s, an 8, and a 10 at 42. And then a tie for 4th place at the moment. This is the final arrow. Boy, we could have a shoot-off on this one. All right, so David Hauser on target number 1 as a helicopter takes off just over the target. So he's got a distraction. Can Hauser nail this one? 100 yards caribou. Hauser does have the option of a letdown. He lets it fly. No, Hauser. Oh. Is that an 8, possibly a 5 on the upper left-hand part? Helicopter taking off. Dan McCarthy, who's tied for this lead, trying to grab it on a 90-yard standing elk. He sends it down right. Oh, no, Joel. Are you kidding me?
The door's opening.
The door is open for Jake Gleitz. So Levi Morgan on target number 3, a 50-yard Hogzilla. Morgan trying to break that tie, and he does. A solid shot. A 12 for Levi in that orange dot. Now Jake Gleitz at full draw. He is on the Velociraptor, 79 yards away. If he 12s this one, this could be over. Oh, you can see the flinch. Oh!
Nice
Jake
shot.
Gleitz! Unbelievable 12. All right, here we go. This is going to be the final arrow for Chance Bobef. Chance has pulled up the 14 card. He has waved it at us. We saw it. So this is going to be the first one of the day. Chance Bobeff going for the duck at a dime-sized 12. A lynx grasping for a duck. Chance Bobeff going for the 14. We love seeing this. It is such a small target. Oh! That is so close. Oh, man, if he's cutting that line, it looked like Chance got that one. As we zoom in and try to take a it is so close. We are not calling it from the booth, Joel. I guarantee you that.
It was a great shot.
That's what we expect from Chance. Chance loves taking the chance, rolling the dice, going for broke. Wow. Can you imagine? Could this be it, Joel? Jake Gleitz, who has to shoot his way into this. We go down to a final closest to the center arrow to him to even get into this final shoot-off. A look at Gleitz. Oh, man. So the first one is David Hauser. David Hauser's going to be in with an 8. So that's going to move Hauser to 50 points. Oh, after Hauser tying for the lead. Big sigh from Hauser. Now we're going to move to Dan McCarthy. Also on 42, and Dan with a 5. Moving him to 47. And here we go, down to the Velociraptor. You think this crowd's going to erupt when they hold up this card, Joel?
Yeah, it's a fantastic shot.
The Velociraptor, a 12 for Jake Gleitz. Wow. 54 points for Gleitz, and there's no one who's going to touch him. Now we're going to move on to target number 3, Levi Morgan, on this Hogzilla, and a 12 for Levi. Going to take him to 45 points. And then there's Chance, who pulled out all the stops, the only shooter on the day to go for the 14. 14 for Chance. He nailed it. That'll take Chance to 47. We got to check this math. So it looks like, from our math, that it's going to be Jake Gleitz who is going to be the 2019 Bowfest champion, as they're going to check. But it looks like also that we're going to have a tie for, third place, possibly. So there it is. Jake Gleitz will take the win in this one. Unbelievable for Jake. And it's going to be David Hauser who's going to take second. And then for third place, it's going to be Dan McCarthy who's going to take third place based off of the amount of 12s. So that'll do it. So it's Jake Gleitz who is going to be our champion, as he's going to head on over and chat with our PJ Riley. $10,000. What a journey that Jake Gleitz has had to make it to this point. He was 5th place before Dan McCarthy's arrival yesterday. Finds himself in a tie for 4th place and is able to shoot his way into this one. And now he can call himself Bowfest 2019 champion in the open division. PJ.
Hey, Gleitz, how about that coming in here? Tell me about that round.
I don't know. I didn't expect to compete with any of these guys. They're all names that I look up to. Then I figured they didn't even know who I was. And I just figured I'd shoot and see what happened.
They certainly know who you are now, but you had to go into a shoot-off just to get in here.
Yeah.
I mean, how did that play with you mentally?
Again, I was like, I'm just going to shoot. I don't really think I can beat him, but I'll just do what I can and see what happens.
So the long stuff, I mean, you were solid on your 10s there. You got 12s when you needed them. I mean, did you feel any nerves? You look steady as a rock.
Sometimes I feel like I have more nerves competing with my friends because, like, I know how they can shoot. I didn't think I stood a chance against these guys. So
All right, Jake. Well, congratulations, Bowfest 2019 Open Class Champion. That was a great win.
All right, so Jake leads $10,000 for his effort in the last couple of days at an absolutely spectacular shoot. Fun competition, thousands of people showing up for this one still with another day. So if you're in the area, come on out and check out Bowfest. Bring your bow, because there are some spectacular courses to shoot up and down hills. Appalachian Trail, Western Edge. We're going to take a break as Jake Leitz enjoys that. On the other side, Joel and I will wrap things up from Mont in Superior, Wisconsin.
These bows to be different. We build them to be better. We're the outsiders, the mavericks, the fearless. We forge our own path. We're not chasing anyone, but we know what they're running from. It's an obsession, and the obsessed never rest.
Vince Lombardi once said, winning is not a sometime thing. It's an all-time thing. You don't do things right once in a while. You do them right all the time. Winning is a habit. Unfortunately, so is losing. I've learned in my career I'm only as good as the tools I use.
12 for Levi Morgan.
One chance, one moment, one shot.
Get in the red zone. Carbon Express's small diameter Maxima Red SD, taking big game hunting to an all-new level, making other competitors' single spine arrows obsolete. Patented tri-spine technology controls arrow flight, delivering better downrange energy and accuracy, all in a small diameter shaft. Think you're shooting the best hunting arrow in the game? Think again. Stay in the red zone. Assume nothing and shoot Carbon Express.
No one likes dry rotted targets. With its proprietary multi-layer construction and exclusive polyester outer shell, Reinhardt bag targets can withstand the continuous punishment of the sun's damaging UV rays. Reinhardt, simply built better.
Welcome back to Superior, Wisconsin, and an absolutely spectacular Bowfest and this money shoot. Joel Maxfield, let's talk about it. I mean, we saw two great classes compete.
Oh yeah, it was fantastic. The money shoot itself was challenging enough, but this shoot off in the evening with the shadows and the side hills, it was crazy difficult.
By the way, I just saw Jake and he just handed me this. So, do you think that this is going to cash at the local bank before we get out of here? Because I just stole it from him.
It didn't work for Happy Gilmore.
It did. Listen, everyone, you got to go check out Bowfest.com. We still have one more day. They're open till 3 o'clock. You can come out here and you can compete. There's some spectacular courses. You want to put this on your calendar for next year because we talked about who's going to be playing here next year. It's the last weekend of July. I mean, Joel, what would you recommend to people that are thinking about coming out here?
The courses are so fun. They're so well put together. They're crazy cool targets, and they're at the right yardages. The courses are just real fun. And the money shoot,
it's great to watch, yeah. You can be at any level to come out here and shoot, by the way. It makes no difference. This was just the money shoot that you saw, but there's so many other people that are competing at so many other levels. Well, that's going to do it for us from here, but keep in mind, next week, Cam, we're going to be off to Metropolis, Illinois for the ASA Classic. We're going to wrap up that season, and who is going to be Shooter of the Year? We're looking forward to that one next week. Well, thanks so much for joining us. Our coverage of Bowfest 2019 from Mont to Lac. Make sure you check out bowfest.com for more information and join us next year. For PJ and Joel and the rest of the crew, I'm Greg White. We'll see you soon.